woman whose family is very, very big family. Where my ancestors gave a lot of money. Yeah. She sent in, it was circle time, and her daughter wanted to share a violin. She was taking violin lessons. And unfortunately, she sent in the real violin, and it broke. One of the strings broke. She went nuts. And so I had to step back and think about what I was going to say, but I knew that I had to say something to her because I felt the way she spoke to me and how I take care of the children, was so disrespectful, and I did not want it to affect my relationship with her daughter. So I thought about it. The next day, frankly, she picked up, well, anyway, I called her on the phone, and I said, we need to talk about this. And I explained to her, she spoke to me so inappropriately, and I did not appreciate it. I worked very, very hard to keep the safety of the children, to make them happy, to keep them safe. And she did apologize. She did end up apologizing, and her husband came in. He was very sweet and gentle, and he came in and stayed and my wife has to protect her. And sometimes, and she's very demanding. That was the last she had ever spoken to me again. She never.
Well, that was effective. Nice.
So we could
Yep. I think sometimes you do. It's hard. I don't think every time. I think it's that's hard. Anybody have another example they want a consequence that they need help with?
Well, I don't know if this goes in this category, but this happens all the time.
Wait, do you have a specific example?
Well, yeah, this
Same
morning.
with a kid?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
This is my daughter's younger one.
Uh-huh.
But he doesn't, I mean, they gotta get, it's like, sort of like what you did with your daughter, like,
Huh?
she wants to get them to camp. He's running around the house naked. He won't put on his clothes, but it's easier. He wants his mother to put them on for him. And, I'm telling her it's like a power struggle. Like she's.
Are you there?
I know. She calls me every morning. She calls me like 3 or 4 times a day.
I don't know that you can be the one. She has to be the one to set the limit.
Yes, she does.
But I think that your relationship with her
Ugh.
is the bigger priority. Like that, just like with the teacher, to really help the kid, that one has to be the discussion and the way you want to help is going to be key. And just like Buck, the trust and the safety I think is critical first. Because I don't think she's going to be open to follow any advice until she feels
but I'm
like.
saying, what should she do? This kid is running around.
If I was giving her advice,
To her, what should she do
but
to get, I mean, I told her what I thought. I thought the boy's going to kindergarten. He should be picking out his own clothes and dressing himself.
right.
And she
I
shouldn't
have
be
to know
telling-
the
oh my
kid,
God.
and I want it to be you, the person implementing the consequence, because that's a little different. But I'm not sure. It might take a little more time to talk through what the consequence would be. There's so many that come to mind.
Like,
I mean, I had a
which one?
guy.
Which
I don't even
one?
want to share this one.
What's
This is really.
No technology. You can't play on your
No,
computer.
I think it's got to be right in the moment, and the other thing is if there's got to be things that he likes that you can take away that is right. It's got to be timely, right in that moment. So things that are built in that he likes. A guy years ago, like 20 years ago, I first started teaching this. He was very shamefully said, I had a situation this week after inductive discipline, and it was really effective. So his son would do the same thing, run around the house naked for to get dressed, and he was like, okay, taking you to school.
Oh, there you go. That's what I'm asking.
He took him to school, and he was like, I'm so embarrassed. I'm shamed. I'm explaining. I'm not saying you should do this. I'm just sharing a funny story for the purpose of something funny. So the guy said he was sweating bullets because the kid was like this. The whole car was like, fine. naked, butt naked in his car seat.
Uh-huh.
Pulls up to the school and he thought for sure the kid was gonna march in, but he chickened out. He was like, thank goodness. The message being, don't set a consequence you can't enforce. That has worked out well.
That's very
My
good.
husband is very good at this, just naturally, very good at it, like the natural quick consequence. And like, I mean, he's done so many things. I keep telling him, he's a social worker, but maybe this is better, I don't know. But he, my daughter would cry when she would whenever she would do something new, like in the morning, she had a hard time separating. And we just knew that and she would get over it. And she would cry going to camp every morning, and it was a performing arts camp. And he's told her that if she didn't hold it together and walk in there, that he was gonna sing when
Yeah,
she
the
walked
humor
in.
can do a lot
And she did
of
not
good.
want him to sing in front of her friends, and she stopped, right? Never did it again.
Yeah, no.
But like,
Humor
it's
can break what he did was he actually kind of intuitively knew it was the anxiety that was
Right.
making her not want to go. So
and he made it a
that's
little
what I mean, you
humorous.
can't
and-
pick one
yeah.
consequence for
Right.
everything. I know with my kids, one of the best is saying, I am not gonna talk about this anymore.
Oh, that's
My daughter will follow me. That's not fair. You can't do that. You say it's important to have conversations, and I'm like, it's very hard. She'll say, right. I can't believe you won't even answer my question. And she knows, and I look at her like, really?
What about a simple one like leaving everything out? Like at home, like
See,
every
that
time I walk
I'm
into the
not
kitchen,
willing.
everything's left out.
Remember, one of the things on enforcing consequences is being willing to carry through with it. Okay, so if the consequence is it stays messy, I'm not willing to let it stay messy. That drives me crazy. So I'm not willing to do that. And I have a lot of parents, and it's quite effective. If they don't put their laundry in the laundry basket, they don't have clean clothes. Drives me crazy. So I have to come up with another one.
Yeah.
So with the stuff that's a mess, what I do is I make them clean it up before they're able to go on to any next activity. And it can be later, but when they you can't do it before you clean that up. I can't say it's that effective, but it gets cleaned up and they know, like sometimes, I just think kids do that. And so this is more about me than it is about teaching them to put their things away. And I own it, like I want to put away. I'm not trying to teach you some valuable thing that you don't care about. I care about it. You have to put it away before you go on to any other activity. Yeah. All right, so let's pull it all together and then do some final exercises. So what I thought I'd do was to go back and kind of pull some of the key things I want to leave you with, or at least images, when you go into school, which is starting soon. Okay. So putting it all together. So when you see a kid or when you hear a parent, the first thing is why are they misbehaving? Why are they not able to meet your expectations? Whether it's getting out the door or being kind. The demands exceed their skills. So I was thinking today, earlier, like how as I've grown, I've become so much better at being able to kind of refrain from a knee-jerk response, think it through and give an alternative response. As a kid, I did not have that skill. And as I've grown older and I've been around people that I can watch and model that use that, I'm better at it, I have the skill. And so I think there's always examples of when you're thinking to yourself, that kid's just a brat, he just wants his own way. Start there, reframe it. What's the skill? He doesn't have the ability to communicate his needs in a way that's effective or whatever. What's the skill and what are the demands? I'm asking this. So that's it. So the demands exceed his skills. I think starting there, instead of making some kind of interpretations about their character, it helps you get in a frame of mind that's easier to connect. And then so if we want to help, what do we need to do? We need to, I love the flexibility quote, maybe temporarily drop the demands so that you can increase the skills. And so what does that look like? So if it's the kid who isn't able to be kind to other kids or saying things that are inappropriate and getting them rejected, the skills are being able to read social cues, being able to consider how your behavior affects other people. The demands are maybe simply, being put in a group with other kids or being around certain kids that trigger the anxiety. So you could temporarily lower the demand. I think giving kids a break from certain things they're unsuccessful is just a little one. Maybe you just drop the demand, or they focus on just temporarily. That can ease anxiety and ease stress while you build the skills. I believe you build the skills through using this whole framework, particularly collaborative goal setting, so that they're building skills. They also develop over time. And then remembering, so the way that you help them be most successful, given that stress interferes with learning, that the behavior is a result of not adequate skills to meet the demands of the situation, and that's real or perceived, and that there is some goal or need that's not being met, and they don't have the skills to get it. So what do we know about the kids that, in spite of maybe very little skills or very high demands, that they have in common that are still successful, is that they have a quality relationship with an adult, somebody to help them model how to get that met. Their competency, they're capable of doing something. So if you can't just keep going back to this, it's all idea of building on your strengths. So sometimes the idea is just give it a rest. The kid, you keep working on one thing to fix a problem, sometimes you just need to shift to something where they are successful. And then slowly chip away at the things we need to build. And then they have this ability to regulate or manage themselves. And I had this breakthrough the other day as I was running. I was like, oh my word. So if we go back to this model, and even this one, and then even the brain, what we know at the center is emotions, and which are based on the relationship, safety, open communication. That's at the center. That's the first we feel and then we think. The thinking is the higher level of reasoning and the higher level skills. So first we feel and then we're able to think and manage. And so it's so fascinating to me is that I think the factors for resilience lay right on top of this and this. It starts with that relationship to really help a kid, and you can use these two skills to really set the foundation. Then that idea of competency, that they're developing a capacity to be good at something. It doesn't have to be a skill. It could simply be, I'm really good at forming friendships, or I'm good at riding horses, or I just learned how to play 3 strums on the violin, or now I can read the sentence. It doesn't matter what it is. I really personally believe it's the ability to affect positive change. So having more control, things like that. But that's the competency piece of resiliency. And you can use this skill to develop it, but it starts with that personal message. And then the last level, emotional management, those kids have an ability to manage their emotions. That's a higher level skill. They can manage them. They can temporarily calm themselves down so they can get focused on a goal and a plan. I think you need an adult to help model that for you and with you. But what's really cool was that outer rung, these last 2 skills, are what provides the structure and the routine and the focus that I think kids need to be able to get back and start building skills and building relationships. So sometimes we're going to start outside, like kid doesn't have your attention, building routines and structures and limits and clear boundaries and focusing on things that are going well and using descriptive reinforcement might be just the container that's necessary to actually start helping a child develop the relationship with you, which as you're all going back to school, just having that in the back of your mind and continuing to think about kind of that circle, which you want to go to the core, but you need to get the structure and the routines and the focus so that it contains this whole system or process.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So, I teach 2-year-olds,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of the children at the beginning of the year are not even 2,
Yeah.
perhaps not even speaking. So,
Mhm.
as I shared with a few people earlier, I'm having a lot of success with this with my own child who's
Uh-huh.
7 at home.
Uh-huh.
but I'm struggling to figure out how I'm gonna translate this to my
Have you been in there
classroom.
yet with the twos?
No.
Oh, it's so powerful with the twos.
Because they can't answer me back, so how do we collaboratively problem
You
solve?
are probably connected with them and you know, and it actually builds their vocabulary and connection with you more quickly when you give it a name. You don't need a lot of words,
Okay.
but you don't like that. Not that one. You just use their words. Like you're putting on the jacket and they go, like, you know, like do it myself. Like, you want to do it yourself. It's just, I love going into schools with twos especially because, and they look at you like Maxwell in that video who was 4, like, how'd you know? Like they're just like, wow. Especially the twos. You know, and I love, you know, when you meet my other partner, colleague, Jenny, she has so many examples of twos actually collaborating, using problem solving with 2-year-olds. It's incredible. They really, you can name what they want. Like if you believe that there are always needs, everybody has core needs. I think they're, you know, having the ability to affect positive change, feeling noticed and valued, being able to have a say in the matter, being able to, like what are some other core needs that,
Bonding.
feeling connected, feeling valued, feeling heard, feeling safe. And you look at this 2-year-old and they're all a bunch of needs, and even the ones. And if you can start like you're just thinking, what do they need? Oh, they need safety. They need to know when their mom's coming back. And then you just speak it for them. You want to make sure, and I like to frame it in goals sometimes. You want to make sure you know that you're going to like it here. You're not sure. Like they know they hear you, they can understand. And then if it's a kid who's just really not getting it, sometimes you need to create just the routines to get them so they can actually hear what you're saying. And that's something that just takes time, just the predictableness of the day. So what I thought we'd do now, I should pull out my timer, is you have a worksheet that I'm going to pass out. Oh, good, we have another hour, okay. And I thought we'd finish with one more kind of putting it all together, skills practice exercise. And so what you'll see is just a chance to think about a situation or issue you want to address in your life right now. Big, small, adult, can be anybody. Your mom,
Oh my God.
your daughter,
Look at me, need more paper.
more paper. And simply take 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, that's all you get. You may not even need 5. And just kind of write out just what issue you want to address, just describe it, because you're going to describe this to the person next to you. Like, everybody get a partner. Does everybody have one? Who does not have a partner? There are 14 in here, so let's start from here and just go down. Is that okay? Oh, you are?
Thank you so
I'll be your partner, Allison.
What?
I stressed you out?
Very good.
Or you're just gonna have to get over it. So wait, before you turn to your partner, take a moment and write out an issue you want to address. Just describe the problem. What do you want to have happen? How would you approach the challenge? Knowing what you know now, how do you think you're gonna approach it? And then what skills would you use? Now, only 5 minutes, you don't have it fleshed out. The purpose of just writing this out is then, the next 5 minutes, you're gonna turn to the person next to you, and I'm gonna give you some things to listen for. Whoops, where did they go? Right. Oh, maybe it's on, wow. Darn it. Well, I know. Okay, so you're gonna be listening for what is this did you, when you're saying it, did you, well, I'll tell you in a minute. Go ahead, take a minute, 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes. Write it out. If you don't finish the whole, if you don't have anything to work on, fine. It's okay. You can just sit and meditate.
I'm glad you feel better.
She said it could be like keep thinking of something. Was thinking about salt.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Kind of.
I mean,
Pretty much. You know, you're right.
I agree.
I thought, like,
I'm going back and forth.
it really is. Don't, the issue and the problem are fairly, yeah, just look at it as the same thing. The describe the problem would be
Yeah.
how you, in a few words of possible, would describe it to somebody else. So what I was thinking was you write it out, here's the problem, and then kind of next step, just see if you can describe it to someone else in as few words as possible. Here's the problem, this is what I want.
Oh.
Okay,
What, are we supposed to discuss?
Yes.
Discuss yours.
Not yet. If you're all done? Okay, you're done.
You're done. We're done.
Okay, you're done. Stop. I'm gonna restart this, reset. So, now, so somebody goes first, and what, the person who's speaking, make sure you identify and clarify. Here's some things that I wanna make sure after you share this, you know, even two, very short. Were you able to identify a core need or authentic goal for both parties involved? So make sure when you're explaining this is how you do it. You don't have to go down the sheet to explain it. You almost just start from scratch. Describe the problem, explain what you want to have happen, and then how are you going to approach it. So, did you identify a core need or a goal for both parties? Authentic. So not one that's like, you know, she just wants the blue sippy cup. It would be, she wants more control. She feels like it's like she doesn't have a say in the matter. Does the goal stated need or need contribute to the quality of the relationship? Does it contribute to some level of competency? And is it helpful for helping them or yourself, both the adult and the child, gain some ability to manage themselves? So, didn't have to be about a child, so I'm gonna start and I'm gonna tell you when to stop, and the other person, just give them feedback as to whether or not they answered the question. They either did or didn't. I think, they didn't just, I think you could work on number 2 a little bit better. And then you're gonna flip it around. And then what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna call on you and we're gonna discuss it, and see if we can get you unstuck. If you're stuck, not stuck, great.
For me, schools, people.
Okay, so start.
That he really knows he's not
Oh.
But I don't know what happened.
Three, all right.
Scared.
Do you wanna come up with me? No? Okay.
And that I tell him, you feel that you know and he also instructor kids. He's busy.
Oh, I know.
But he tells me all the time, I don't know when I go back to this school, people see me.
I don't know. I can't
Sometimes it's very hard to accept his
Right.
every time I try to make
like that.
I always tell him, compare.
Right.
Now the schools also help me. Little bit silent. Not say what I just want to say and just stop myself. But it's I continue to talk with him even when he hurt me.
Right.
And he hurt me like better.
Right.
I don't want nothing from you, just now he calls me. He's driving license. Just for example, yesterday, he was staring at me. And he wants to drive without teaching. I tell him I'm not coming to that's what I tell him. I don't go into the car. I'm not coming in until you without his license. Ah, you see it? But it was public. And he began nervous.
Okay, stop. Just to
I
let you know, that was only 2 minutes. So it's funny how people think, wow, gosh, I don't have time for that. So that was 2 minutes. If you still need more time? Okay. How much more time?
So I just tell you don't.
I mean, we just started, we needed more time.
Oh, okay, so we'll go till 2 more minutes. Okay. If you're already done, give the person feedback as to whether or not they answered those questions.
I just think I need to just bring him there. He cook himself his food, he cook himself. I want to know what happened here instead of I have no answer. These questions here, yes, they're important. She feels like she's not being. She's going to share with her. Yes, that contributes to your family.
A lot of things. I'm known for he would ask other children to join him as he runs around.
Not destroy this relationship that I built all through my life.
Follow him, and he would have a group. And he has a lot of stuff, no matter what the teacher says. So as the teacher speaks to him, he says, I don't need to listen to you. He comes and hears what he's doing. So, I mean, I didn't know what he was doing. It was like, I was walking in here, I was like, Jesus, whatever, and I went inside, and I found something else to do. So, I was thinking the goal is that he plays more appropriate and stuff during that time. I touched the
All this for him, and he's
right, and I just, and now thinking back, I think I would have done these I think is really helpful, which I would have gone in with the empathy part, and because I didn't know why he was doing that. I was trying to figure it out, but I never went to the core of
for
it.
example,
I just tried to solve it. And I think now I would say, I'd pull him aside and say, I'm trying to find ways.
but he was
You know,
lazy.
this is the way it is.
So what he said,
Even though
how
that's
he
not
blamed
right,
me.
I'm
You
hoping
know
that we
what
have
they
a
like
conversation
this?
that we can correct it.
Because they're parents.
You know, so I could try and figure out why he was running.
But they,
Not that he would have a soul searching
but
answer, but I
they
think he might
I grabbed you,
have
I
had
pushed
somewhat
you,
of a
but
different
he
answer,
was
something, you know? And then after I got hopefully something from him, I would have said, personal incident, you know, or free the other people. You know, and then maybe would have said, what do you understand now, do this time, so you're safe, but you're also paying there for now. You know, like, I think I would have, like, I love this, because I feel like I would have put this into steps, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know if that would have helped, and I hopefully don't need the consequence, I guess the consequence is very
Next time you have just few
you know, it should make sense. I mean, my first response was that he has to play with the teacher if he keeps doing that, like, what she can do. So that's not great either. So I don't know what.
Receive my license, I will be studying. I say now it's end of summer. If you want to follow the session, you have to go now. You have few days, open days, come with me and I will go. I am not again. And you
Again, try to figure out right skills in it instead of just reacting angrily. Yeah, that's right. And so like taking it out of it, and like the one thing, like when I worked with the video, I kind of really, it's very hard to sound whether it's scary with my voice. So you automatically just respond and get bitter. So I always think about that, like, I want to yell, you know, or I want to, even especially at home, like I want to scream sometimes, and I'm like,
and maybe he doesn't have
like I try to bring my voice right now because it's like instant.
self-esteem. Because that way all kind of my older sister, my older brother, she
Every holiday, I'm like, it's funny, I didn't even realize until all my like family friends, they like went to their own places and then we got together and we were like, oh my god, nobody's started with a show. No, right? No, nobody even knows do that.
Have you ever said to him, you're so much life, I know you have a lot on your shoulders? Do you think he'd not say anything? Like, do you think he'd just say yes and then walk away, or was that like?
yeah, I tell you, that's what she said. Yes. I'm ready to work hard. I know you can help me. I will do everything myself.
So what is are there interests that he has of what he wants to do?
Oh, that's okay. Doesn't tell me.
Right.
What's your?
But I want to help you with your. Is there somebody that helps you that he does, like an adult?
I had that